This young woman, without a doubt, thinks she is several levels above her actual SMV. Before I address her points, I am going to acknowledge that her highest attributes are her youth and slim figure. Everything else about her shouts out lower tier plain Jane. Sister, you're about a 4.9 out of 10, and this is probably as high as you are getting if you don't work on yourself. Once this woman is out of college, her top tier guy pickings will probably be regulated to smash and dash. Now her points. I ignore guys who likes me. Well, literacy aside, that just tells us she goes for the bad boys. I don't trust boys. Yeah, because the issue is you keep looking for boys, not men. I don't settle for less. That hypergamy is in gear, and she actually thinks she is a top tier SMV level woman to get a high value man. Sure. I fall in love with someone who can't love me back. Chads and Tyrones, everyone. Do I really need to say more? She's basically olive oil who got ran through by both Popeye and Bluto. Moving on.
Here are 2 things women do to subconsciously test the men that they're dating on a first date. Number 1, your leadership skills. Are you able to make an executive decision when she's being a tiny bit indecisive anytime during the date or at the dinner table? Number 2, your ability to lead a conversation. And that means, are you able to create a space where she can feel safe sharing anything with you while laughing together?
This young woman has made 2 excellent points of women testing men, and I want to add what is missing from her points. That is the advice that should be given to men. On the first part, leadership, I have said before, don't start off on dinner dates. But if you do, plan the date and only ask her simple questions of food allergies and such. I will add to that, men should test their dates back in a simple manner. You can point out an item on the menu and ask her not to order that item for your own reasons, even if she was highly interested in that item. This will show you if she's willing to respect your wishes and if she is of a submissive nature. If she argues back that she wants the item or orders it anyway regardless of your request, that's a big red flag you should not ignore. The second part of her testing is leading a conversation. This is easy enough. Just don't talk about topics that tend to end badly, such as politics, physical intimacy, past relationships, personal traumas, financial status, or business projections. Keep the conversation casual, lighthearted, and my best advice is to hit her with deep thought questions. For example, who knows you best? Is there something that you love to do, but you stop doing it? What's your favorite place to run away to? What is your best and worst habit? Not just will these questions throw her a curveball and make her think, the answers will give small details into her thought process and reaction norms. That's game, son. Develop yours first. Moving on.
So I worked as a professional matchmaker in LA and New York City with high net worth men, and this is something that they would do that would leave them single and make me crazy. They would come to me in their 50s saying that they've dated all over New York City and LA, but there's no good girls, and they need to have me find the hottest, perfect girl that they can have a baby with. This would mean that there's a minimum of a 20-year age difference. And not only is there that, but they want them to be the most perfect girl that's ever existed, which, by the way, doesn't exist. So you present them with all these beautiful women, and they come up with every excuse in the book of why they're not good enough. And all it really is that they're not understanding that perfection doesn't exist, and you have to see people for who they really are and date them and get to know them and understand their values, not just the superficial stuff that you see on the outside. So after matching them with 30, 40, 50 people and they end up still single, it's not about the quality of women they're being presented with. It's about their mental attitude and how they view relationships and women in general. Don't be this guy.
I want to start off by pointing out this woman's views come purely from her profession and workload. There was so much more going on with those men. I would guess they either didn't tell her or she could not figure it out. Ladies, before you yell, "What? She is a professional matchmaker! You just want to make excuses for those men's bad habits." Well, let me shed some light on several factors that I clearly understand from an outsider's vantage point. This lady actually thought she was tasked to find these men love. That's not what they wanted. They said clearly attractive women to have a baby with. Let me break it down some more. These high-value men could use their passports and get an attractive wife in another country. They hired this woman to find an attractive American woman that is basically already trained to be a housewife with very few threats to these men's financial achievements. Those excuses they gave her were their vetting process. Think of it this way. Those men were the prize, and they all had high vetting standards. They could afford an attractive wife from anywhere. They wanted a top American one to have a child with. I'm pretty sure this matchmaker didn't understand that because she was seeing things through a female lens. If a man is a self-made millionaire, he will be this guy. The key thing is they have the money to travel and don't have a biological clock forcing them to choose LA or New York women. They just use their money to try one last time to find a US woman before traveling abroad. It's not that complicated, sister. They can pay to play in more than one backyard.
Oh, behave.
If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.